I think so. Her costume protected her body from most of the blast, she said as she attended to Virtuoso. Yeah, but not my face. Where's a healer when you need one? Virtuoso said as she opened her eyes. Thanks, guys, Olympian yelled as he flew out of the building with the villain in one hand. What happened to that never alone stuff? I felt like I was plenty alone in there. Who's that? She asked. How's your face? She grimaced at the sight of Olympian. Oh, Snitchy here? Olympian ignored references to his face. Olympian dropped the villain onto the yard before he landed. The villain's legs were broken, much like Mrs. Pringle's were. Snitchy? Glimmer asked. I call him Snitchy because to save his own skin, he was willing to tell us how he was able to call in backup if the global comm system is down, Olympian said. He hurt my mother, Alex said as he punched the villain in the face. The villain didn't look that hurt by the blow. Alex then tried to grab one of She's swords. This won't help your mother. She was able to keep the sword from the boy. We need to get the Pringles back to a healer. I need a healer too, the villain said as he tried to sit up. Olympian punched the villain once in the top of the head. The villain's head bounced off the ground and he lay still. No talking. Come on, we have to go, Virtuoso said as she reached out to touch everyone. 2 quick teleports later, the Alphas were back in the room at the London HQ. Dr. DeClute and Wave didn't ask any questions as they placed their hands on the fallen Pringles. Mr. Pringle stood and was stunned at how good he felt. Is that what it's like to be healed? Honey, are you all right? Mrs. Pringle sat up and took stock of how her legs felt. I think I'm fine. Both Pringles scooped up Alex and looked at the unconscious Cosmos. Dr. DeClute comforted them about their son. Wave put her hands on Olympian's face and began to heal his burns. What happened to you? Supervillain. Just make sure to make me pretty again, Olympian said. Darkspeed re-entered the room with the others who had left, including Saber and Shroud. The member of the HU that accompanied them stared at the broken body that was unconscious on the floor. Get Arthur in here, Olympian said with a commanding voice. How did you guys get costumes? Saber asked. Not all of us were quick enough to get costumes, Eclipse said in his pajamas. You're lucky they stretch, Ranger said. The HU rep quickly left and Arthur returned with other superheroes behind him. What's going on here? Arthur asked. Snitchy here is willing to tell you how the villains still have comms and we don't. When we fought, he called in reinforcements with his wrist communicator, Olympian said. You left here. I said not to. Arthur seemed angry now. I'm not the genius that sent an Omni out there for Vector to send a squad after. What? Explain. Arthur looked at Cosmos on the couch resting. Virtuoso made contact with Arthur's mind and showed him what happened and how she knew what she did. Is that clear enough? You 4 fought a squad of 8 and won? 9 if you count their backup. Some guy named Byrne, Olympian said. You fought Byrne? How did you get away? I didn't get away. Then where is Byrne now? Olympian made his tombstone eyes and paused before saying, Wet. The rest of the squad is dead too, except for our guest here. She pointed at the unconscious villain. Aside from the Pringles, I don't think any civilians were hurt or need medical attention. Look, Arthur, you have at least 2 full teams here. We can help, Darkspeed pleaded. I can't place Alphas as young as you into combat. I'm sorry. Arthur motioned for one of the other superheroes to take the wounded villain. Rescue missions then, Darkspeed said quickly. We have strong hitters, flyers, healers, you name it. Let us help. Arthur didn't have to think long before he said, 2 leaders see the dispatcher in the command center. Don't teleport anyone else into this room without having your telepath checked with Prism. Darkspeed and Ranger rushed past the adult Alphas and into where they knew the command center was from their tour. Those that they left in the room attended to each other and made sure everyone was 100%. Is Bioforce still working on IQ? She asked. Dr. DeClute nodded. She's taking him to their medical unit and he's being put on life support. She should be back soon. If she was able to heal him, why would he need life support? Think of his brain as a computer that has to be reassembled. Bioforce has no way of putting the data back on the computer. He's in a vegetative state. Virtuoso placed her face in both hands and cried. Aside from her own team, she had spent more time with IQ than she had with anyone this last semester. She had touched his mind and knew what a good person he was. How is he? Glimmer asked as she stood over the sleeping Cosmos. Being overdosed twice in such a short time has been hard on him. I thought it best to keep him asleep for at least another hour. He's not hurt in any way? Mrs. Pringle asked. No, he's fine. His brain just needs rest. If we wake him too soon, he'll try to use his powers and that will just add stress to his mind, Let him sleep. Alex climbed up next to his brother and hugged up next to him. She looked at the two brothers as they lay next to each other. Two Omnis. What are the odds? She said out loud. You sure? Dr. DeClute asked. I tested his durability last night. It was 1,800 norms. This is about the age Omni started developing his invulnerability, then his strength. That's something that bugs me, Olympian said. How did Vector come up with a way to destroy Omni? I mean, I thought his invulnerability was unlimited. Dr. DeClute winced and said, Not totally unlimited. He can be wounded by some kind of attack he's never experienced before, but then he's invulnerable to it. After all these years, I can't begin to imagine a new kind of force that he hasn't seen. Darkspeed and Ranger looked at the map of the globe and all the blinking red lights. They didn't know where to begin or even how to read this map. Which of these are rescue missions? Darkspeed asked. The fast-moving HU tech that heard the question didn't look at them as he worked. Everything on that board is combat. Rescue missions are on paper copy on the white desk behind you. Look through them and try to find the ones with the most people in danger. If it's a cat in a tree, ignore it. Look for something with at least 100 people. We haven't had time to sort them yet. Darkspeed took this opportunity to show that he could be helpful. With his speed turned up to full, he sorted the piles almost instantly. They're all sorted by number of people in danger and region, Darkspeed said. The tech looked back and smiled. Good, these just came in. Do these too. He held up the papers and waited for Darkspeed to take the pile from his hand. Darkspeed found sorting the smaller stack even faster. He picked up 2 missions, and then he found a third that made his jaw drop. We need to go, Darkspeed said to Ranger. Where are the other alphas? Ion asked. When the attack started, Arthur started sending alphas to their home cities. We wouldn't go. Blue team alphas that were sent home yesterday are hooking up with their local halls to help, Virtuoso said. The door opened and Bioforce entered with a haunted look on her face. She quietly closed the door behind her and sat down. How is he? Dr. DeClute asked. He can't even remember how to breathe on his own, Bioforce said. You did all you could. Darkspeed burst the door open and began giving orders quickly. Everyone on their feet. We have assignments. Team 1 is Bioforce, Olympian, and myself. Team 2 is second team minus Eclipse. Eclipse will go with Saber, Shroud, and Dr. DeClute. You're assigning me as a healer? Dr. DeClute asked in shock. Darkspeed talked even faster and harsher. If I have to take time to explain everything, people will die. The transport team is Virtuoso and she as her protection. Virtuoso will teleport us where we need to go and keep the party line on for the leaders. Darkspeed reached for Virtuoso's hand. We're going now? Where? Virtuoso asked. Crete, the Farakas family has been attacked. Olympian jumped forward and took Virtuoso's other hand. Let's go! Bioforce was last to reach over and place a hand on Virtuoso. She tried to make a face that might encourage the healer. Ranger, pass out the rest of the assignments, Darkspeed said as they teleported away. There! A loud voice shouted as they arrived on Olympian's family property. Olympian looked to see several large men flying at them from across the field. Olympian instantly recognized them as family members. Wait! It's me, Jonas! We're here to help! Olympian shouted. The large Greek men landed in front of Olympian and the others. They looked like they were still poised to attack. The Alphas could see that each of them had been badly wounded. We brought a healer with us, Darkspeed said. We could use your help, Aurora said as she landed behind the men. Open the party line and transport the other teams, Darkspeed said to Virtuoso. I'll be listening if you need us, Virtuoso said as she disappeared. What can we do? Bioforce asked. Help us tend to the wounded and double-check the island for more of them. One of the Farakas men pointed to a pile of villains. Bioforce, you heal and I'll check the island, Darkspeed said as he blinked away. Darkspeed ran around the perimeter of the island while looking for any sign of a villain or any other wrongdoing. After that, he ran through the center of all the villages and towns. Then, he spot-checked from hilltops all over the island in a random pattern. Darkspeed saw many signs of combat and many fallen villains and heroes, but no standing villains. I don't think there are any bad guys left, Darkspeed said as he stood still next to Olympian. Good. Where's Father? Olympian asked Aurora. He and Ajax carried the fight to a group that was trying to escape on a plane of some kind, Aurora said. Where would they be? Olympian stopped speaking when he heard the explosion. Everyone paused to find the direction of the sound that shook the ground under their feet. Aurora was the first to connect the pieces of what just happened and flew while screaming something in Greek.